We've done big things together on the world stage, as Canada and the U.S. have done together for decades, for generations. And now we should be working together to ensure even greater prosperity for North Americans in a very uncertain and challenging world. Now, it's not in my habit to agree with the Wall Street Journal, but Donald, they point out that even though you're a very smart guy, this is a very dumb thing to do. We two friends fighting is exactly what our opponents around the world want to see. And now, to my fellow Canadians, I won't sugarcoat it. This is going to be tough, even though we're all going to pull together, because that's what we do. We will use every tool at our disposal so Canadian workers and businesses can weather this storm. From expanding EI benefits and making them more flexible to providing direct supports to businesses, we will be there as needed to help. But Canada, make no mistake, no matter how long this lasts, no matter what the cost, the federal government and other orders of government will be there for you. We will defend Canadian jobs. We will take measures to prevent predatory behavior that threatens Canadian companies because of the impacts of this trade war, leaving them open to takeovers. We will relentlessly fight to protect our economy. We will stand up for Canadians every single second of every single day, because this country is worth fighting for. Les derniers mois ont été stressants.
The recent months have been stressful and, in fact, exhausting for all of us.
Mais je crois qu'on peut
But I believe
être rassuré.
So
we
as
can be reassured.
the leader of Canada goes into the French translation of essentially what he just said, including a message directly to Donald Trump. I want to thank Dominic Chu, who's been with us. And Garrett, the message to Donald Trump directly from the leader of Canada, where he quotes the Wall Street Journal saying, you may be very smart, but this is a very dumb move. I presume that we can expect some reaction from the president or from the White House any minute now.
Yeah, I don't bet on politics, Jose, but if I did, that seems like a pretty safe wager. I mean, here you see Justin Trudeau using kind of two of the most tried and true tactics to break through to President Trump, addressing him directly on television, knowing his remarks are being carried live on televisions throughout the West Wing, and referencing the conservative media outlets that Donald Trump likes to read. Trump and Trudeau have had no love for each other since the president's reelection. The president repeatedly joking about Trudeau personally, about Canada becoming the 51st state. And here you see the president or the prime minister has been treated as a bit of a punching bag, punching back. Candidly, I don't know how effective it'll be at changing the president's mind, but it certainly seems engineered to get his attention.
Yeah, and I mean, Prime Minister Trudeau also, even during the first Trump administration, had no kind moments and kind words for the president at different G7 meetings, et cetera. I want to bring in Eddie Glaude, a professor at Princeton University. He is also an MSNBC contributor. And we're going to talk, Eddie, if we could, a little bit about this trade war that is really becoming very hot as of right now. Eddie, how do you read this?
I honestly I can't make sense of it. There is this sense in which Donald Trump has this belief that tariffs can be effective. Most economists across the ideological spectrum disagree with him. He's going to bring a certain kind of pain to the American people. And I think this is an interesting contrast between what Justin Trudeau just said and what we're not hearing from our president. He just told the Canadian people that this is going to be rough, that it's going to have an impact on their economy. And then he promised them that he will be there. He will ensure that there won't be gouging. He will ensure that they're going to expand benefits. But what have we heard? We've only heard a dismantling of government agencies. We haven't heard any talk about our obligations to each other, the federal government's responsibility to the American people. Instead, what we've seen is just simply an unfolding of pain, and more pain. So I think we have to see this as a contrast. I don't know what he's thinking about the tariffs, honestly, Jose, but I do know what he's not thinking about, and that is the American people.
And, the responsibility of the executive to the American people. Garrett, one of the things that is required is that the president address the nation. And what do you think the White House is looking to achieve in tonight's address to Congress?
Well, I think they're going to defend some of these more controversial steps, Jose, including the tariffs, including the pause on aid to Ukraine. And I also think they want to tout what they view as the early successes of the president's first 40-some-odd days. I've been told to expect a heavy dose of discussion about the border and the slowing to a trickle of illegal immigration across the southern border. The president, said repeatedly during the campaign he thought that was the single most important issue to American voters. I think they believe now it's his single biggest success that he's had so far. I also think you're going to hear a fair amount about DOGE, about the effort to cut government spending and the federal workforce. That could be much more controversial, especially given the setting. But Elon Musk will be in attendance. And the president and his team understand full well that this has been a subject of fascination, candidly, across the country, and something they want to claim credit for to the degree that there are achievements worthy of credit there.
Yeah, and Eddie, there is so much division in our country, and that is something that unfortunately is not new. But is there anything you think that the president could do or say tonight to turn back the tide of division in our country?
Actually, Jose, I think that's wishful thinking. Donald Trump traffics in division. He stokes grievance, and he, in some ways, in stoking that grievance, he makes political hay out of it, right? That's his fuel. So I suspect that he won't be speaking to the American people. He will be speaking to his base. He will, in so many ways, it will be a spectacle. It will be a television event. And so our task, I think, is to kind of pierce the noise and try to see exactly what he's up to. But I don't think we're going to come out of this in any way, in any shape, form, or fashion, Jose, closer coming together. The divisions will harden because of what he will say and what he has done.
Garrett Haake and Eddie Glaude, I thank you both very much.